Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton and we come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, there are just so many changes going on in our world. And I don't know about you, but it's enough to make your head spin. Now, of course, you have all the changes of the political climate and the political leadership and all of that. And, I, for one, am quite optimistic going into 2025. I think that it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a year maybe where common sense comes back to play. I hope. I pray that common sense comes back because we've been off in la-la land somewhere for a long, long time. But there are a lot of changes that are coming on with technology, and that's really what I want to talk about today. So this program is brought to you by an organization right here in Southern California called Million Kids, millionkids.org. And our organization is called that because more than 1 million kids are trafficked each year throughout the world. That is human trafficking, where they're into forced sex, where they're abused, they're not free to go, they don't get the money, that kind of thing, or labor trafficking. Again, they're held against their will, they don't get the money, they're often tortured or abused and that kind of thing. And so that is human trafficking. But we also deal with online social media exploitation, and especially as it relates to kids. The most common form of that is sextortion. And that is where a kid decides that they've fallen in love with some hot little thing on the internet, male or female, depending on what they like. And the next thing you know, they're sending off photos of their private parts, and their life goes south in a hurry. And that is called sextortion. It's a combination of the word sex and extortion together. And we've been combating that for about 15 years right here in Southern California. But because of technology, because of artificial intelligence, because of global internet connection, because of things like geolocation software, because of things like nudify sites where they can take the picture of anybody and turn it into a nude. And our kids love that. And they show me a kid that's 13 years old that doesn't think that's fun, without realizing the consequences. So there's a lot going on in this kind of world. So Million Kids and myself personally have been researching this and educating. We've educated more than 750,000 people eye to eye, and God knows how many by Zoom and by television and the movie that we have out and the internet and like that. But it is all changing so fast, it makes your head spin. And so what has happened over a period of time is Million Kids has kind of evolved. In the beginning, it was myself and a couple of other people that were going out and speaking, and I, for many, many years, 14 years, served as the training and outreach coordinator for the Riverside County Sheriff Department for their anti-human trafficking task force. And that, by the way, is one of the very finest task forces in the United States. Sheriff Chad Bianco, my boss, is just, amazing people that have put together an amazing team. And I report to Jeff Hammond, Sergeant Hammond, I need to call him that, but they lead a task force here in Riverside that it comes out of the sheriff office, but quite frankly, it involves all the cities and towns within Riverside County, including things like Riverside Police Department and Beaumont Police Department and Hemet and Corona. And it's also the outlying areas. If you've followed the news, you've seen that right now the Sheriff Department is looking at a case and asking for leads that's 4 years old that has to do with a Laotian group out of Sage and Anza that were murdered, that they believe were involved in human trafficking, that they brought people in from Laos and they put them out on marijuana farms, and these people don't get free. And they're highly abused, and in this case, some of them lost their life. through a scene of violence, and they're asking for more information. But there is all kinds of human trafficking that takes place within the Riverside County, and there is all kinds of social media exploitation. And that's really what I want to talk about today. And so you can follow us. Where I was going with that is about the kind of research that we do, that if you want to follow us and see what is happening, especially our newsletter, it covers Riverside, San Bernardino County, but a lot of other areas. You simply go to millionkids.org, not .com, millionkids.org, and ask for our newsletter. And it comes out every week. We don't, it's not brutal or anything like that, but it keeps you up to date on all the technology changes. And that's really where I want to go with you today on this radio show with the various segments. I want to talk about what is happening in the name of technology that is really, really interesting and affects your life. One of the big stories that came out today, and I'm looking at the headline on this, there were many people that reported it, but it says Mark Zuckerberg takes a cue from Elon Musk. Facebook and Instagram will ditch fact-checking and instant rely on community. I want to share with you why that's so important to me. In 2020, we had a proposition called Proposition 20, and it would have made child sex crimes violent and serious. And Million Kids fought tooth and nail to educate the public so that would pass. As it turns out, it did not pass. And so only recently, as they've come back under other bills, have they been able to make a child sex crime a violent or serious crime. And even then, there's a lot of disclaimers in it. It's amazing to me that a society as sophisticated as our society has any discussion at all, that there any reluctance at all to make child sex crimes violent and serious in a community is just really amazing to me. Well, Million Kids undertook to promote people to vote. It was one of those things you needed to vote for it in order to get it to pass. And it was at that time that Facebook decided to take Million Kids off their site. And we were labeled as disinformation. I couldn't believe my ears. We lost over 30,000 followers. And for a small organization our size, who had been in business at that point 12 years and accumulated a large number of followers online, losing 30,000 followers and being just instantaneously taken off Facebook was absolutely devastating to our little organization. We never have been able to recreate and find out who those people were. But we were caught up in that as the organization under Facebook decided that they would decide that if they did not agree with you, they simply did something and said, what you're saying is not true. And everything we were saying had been fact-checked. Everything we were saying was coming from other organizations also. And so it was an interesting thing. I hired a consultant. I contacted Facebook, what can we do to get back on? Nothing. Consultants don't matter. You're not a customer. They don't have customer service. They own the platform. They get to decide who's going to be able to be on their platform and who is not. And with that, we were taken off until last year. And it was absolutely devastating to our message and our mission and our inability to be able to reach all of our followers for a very long time. So I'm very, very happy to see that Mark Zuckerberg has seen the light. Just because they don't agree with you just because they own the platform does not give you the right to decide you're going to take anybody off you don't agree with. We need to be able to tell the message on both sides of the story, and then the public can decide what they want to believe and what they hear and what they determine to be accurate. So I am happy to see, even though it has been absolutely devastating over the last 5 years for me and kids. I am happy to see them starting to come around and understand the importance of free speech. And this whole thing of having the government fund and get behind social media and then tell people who and where they can say and how they can say it and whether or not it's accurate or not. Now, that brings us down to another discussion I want to have next section, and that is more and more as our young people get their truth, quote unquote, from social media from around the world. We need to be able to have that dialogue and educate our kids about what truth is and how can you tell the difference. My name is Opal Singleton. We are up against a break, so stay with us. We're going to be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hey, let me tell you about my favorite restaurant in Riverside, Monarch Asian Bistro. The atmosphere and decor are simply stunning. The service is great too. It's a wonderful environment for a romantic dinner or a family get-together. It's not just another Chinese restaurant. The Monarch Asian Bistro is upscale and it serves Thai food as well as unique Asian-inspired dishes that are just fabulous. My favorite is the pad see-ew beef. My husband likes the orange chicken, and the Chinese chicken salad is always great. Our friends sometimes order the Emperor's Choice or a Monarch steak. It is my favorite go-to place. Go ahead and give it a try. It's Monarch Bistro in Riverside, Canyon Crest Town Center next to Ralph's. They are open for lunch and dinner every day but Tuesday. Go ahead, give it a try. You're going to love it.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of MillionKids.org. I believe the four most powerful words on earth are I believe in you. So we created a challenge coin that says, I believe in you on one side and stand tall, you are loved on the other side. This one-of-a-kind challenge coin is a perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, Christmas presents, or just an anytime gift for someone you love. What a powerful message for a parent or a grandparent to give to a young person. This 2-inch coin is made of polished gold. It's striking to look at, and it is priceless to hold. It is packaged in a beautiful black velvet gift box. What a great way to leave a legacy of love that will last forever. To purchase this coin, go to millionkids.org/gallery. Each coin is $25. Go to millionkids.org/gallery to purchase and give a legacy of love.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton and we are coming to you from an organization called Million Kids. And this week I want to talk about the vast number of changes taking place in social media, online social media and online exploitation and what to watch out for. So where I was going in the previous section is that this whole idea of protecting yourself against rogue technology or rogue players online who are feeding you undocumented, illicit information and like that. How can you tell the difference? And how do we prepare our kids to live in this world? Well, it is complex because we now have artificial intelligence, which means you have deep fakes. You know, there's all kinds of equipment that will modify how you look, what you say, how you come across, and even who you are. And we're just getting started with that. We have digital currency. And our kids are the first to get that. You know, think about it. For many years now, our kids have had a Bitcoin account if they're playing Fortnite or World of Warcraft or one of those crazy things. They already have digital currency. Why is that important? Because it gives rogue players around the world a way to make money by blackmailing you or seducing you into thinking that you have a romantic relationship or just simply fraud and pretending that you've been been hacked or that your grandchild is in trouble. So digital currency is an issue. Last year, for the first time this is 25, so year before last, let's get that right, 2022 and 23, the entire world connected by internet. That means that little out-of-the-way places and grass huts with dirt floors in Battambang, Cambodia, and outer Nigeria can reach you, and they can reach your child, and they can blackmail you, and now they have digital currency where they can collect on that. And we add with that artificial intelligence, so they can take a photo of yourself or somebody else and take the clothes off and make you look like you're either in a sex act or you're nude, and now they want to blackmail you. Or they will pretend that you're their new best friend and you're lonely, you're a widower, you're a widow, you're divorced, and you're just sitting there at your computer and life isn't fun. And you go on one of those dating sites and you meet the love of your life. Unfortunately, they're on an oil well in Saudi Arabia, and before long, they're wanting money. And that is where romance scams begin. On top of it, we have geolocation software. So very quickly, they know where you live. And they can determine everything about you. They can get pictures of your house, your bedrooms. If it's on the internet, they know your birthday. They know your kid's name. They know your grandkid's name if you're posting on Facebook. Artificial intelligence is a matter of gathering up mass amounts of data and building a profile about you. So from here on out, from this day forward, we're all sitting ducks. And I say that because I want you to understand that we are way past this thing of putting our children, especially our prepubescent children, online with just a wag of the finger going, you be careful on that thing now. These are very complicated conversations that we need to have with our children, because when they go on the World Wide Web, they need to understand that they are a breath away from some Yahoo boy Nigerian telemarketer who is pretending to be a hot 14-year-old to get you to take your clothes off. The reason this is so scary, there was a research study last year, I believe it was thorn.org. 1 out of 6 boys and 1 out of 7 girls, meaning teenagers, have already sent their nude photo online. They see it as a game. I had one girl when I was training in school saying, well, you have to send them a nude photo before you go out or they won't go out with you. Really? Well, where do you go from there once you go out? They've already seen everything. It's amazing the way our kids have this kind of nonchalant attitude of, oh, mom, don't be a prude. We need to back up and have the conversations with our kids about what this world looks like. And so one of the things that's happening is this is becoming very, very sophisticated. In romance scams, I really, really want to be able to go out and talk to senior citizens and show them how this works. And by the way, you don't have to be a senior citizen. You can be a 22-year-old divorced person and still fall prey to this. And by the way, your 15-year-old son can do this also. But these people are pros. And so one of the things I want to share with you over the next couple of segments is how this looks on the other side of the world. Because what has happened is we have created an electronic super highway of access to our lonely people and our kids by people who live in third world countries. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you is that we got an email this last week. It was titled Unsettled Payment. And it says, I'm a professional hacker, have successfully managed to hack your operating system. I've gained full access, and it goes on, and it implies that they saw us, that they put in a Trojan virus, and that they saw us looking at pornography. And in fact, they have some photos of us as we're looking at pornography, and they imply that something happened on there. Now, I already know that's true because I'm too damn smart to go online and start to show off people and naked photos. But it's amazing the number of people, especially if they're involved in looking at pornography, especially if it's live streaming pornography. It's amazing to me how many men and boys especially forget that camera works both ways. So this letter, who I know to be an absolute fraud because I'm in the business, but anyway, they're implying that they caught us in looking at pornography, and now they want money. Here's what you need to do. Transfer the equivalent of 1,990 USD to my Bitcoin account. And you can check online in case if you don't know how to do that. They give us some fraudulent Bitcoin account. That's a required amount. What they're looking for is to see if we're dumb enough to fall for this. Now, the bulk of the people won't because they know better. It's like all those scam calls we get on Robodial and Robocall. We know that's a scam, but it is amazing to me how many people do not know that this is a scam. So I want to take this a bit further and talk about something called the Yahoo Boys out of Nigeria and scam farms that are coming out of Cambodia, Myanmar, and Philippines. So the Yahoo Boys, it says, I'm reading this from Kurt the Cyber Guy because he's the expert, okay? I could have written it myself, but he's much smarter than me when he gets into technology. And besides, I really like the guy. I've followed him for years and years, and he knows what he's doing. Before I go into Yahoo Boys, I want to finish up this segment by saying that all of this research has become so complicated that we have formed a team of 10 professional people that study this all day long and share it with each other. And we give our opinion about where this is going and how it's happening. Some of them are retired law enforcement. One of them is a private investigator. We have one of them is a pastor that happens to work with drug addiction and gangs. And so we share this all over the world where we gather up an article and we say, look at this latest thing. What does this mean? And how do we use it to protect our families? And one of the things that has really come to happen is that you have found that in very poor parts of the world, such as Nigeria and Southeast Asia, people are being enslaved for the sole purpose of blackmailing you and seducing you or your kids or your older folks, okay, into getting U.S. money. That's exactly what it's all about. And we need to understand how that works. And before any young person ever goes online again, you need to sit down with them and begin to explain how all of this works and raise their right hand and swear for all they're worth they will never, ever send a deep fake, meaning an altered nude or a real nude, and they will not engage with people they have never met online. And if they do, that they will come and tell you when they start getting blackmailed, and that they will never send money to someone they met online. The world has changed in the last few months in a way that we can't even imagine. And it is important that our kids understand how it's changed. Also, it's important that our older people understand how it changed, because we all go online looking like it's one big social experience. Well, let me tell you, it can also be one big criminal experience with you paying blackmail money. It's break time. We're going to be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. We are talking about the many, many changes that are coming on, especially beginning this year with all the technology. As I was saying before the break, Million Kids is a small organization. We're known for our expertise and our research, especially on crimes like sex trafficking, labor trafficking, money laundering, gang, cartel trafficking, online exploitation, things like the deep web, the dark web, bulletproof hosting, all of those kinds of things. And we share that information in a team of about 10 people who are constantly sorting through all of these changes and saying, what does it mean? And that really becomes an issue when you start to look at all that is happening in artificial intelligence. You know, this is the thing that I was saying is how fast everything's changing. We have this issue of an open border, and that's affecting human trafficking in Southern California as unaccompanied minors are out there that are, at risk. And so, but what most people don't realize is the cartels they've changed. You don't see gangs like you used to see standing around on street corners. They're all using virtual private networks, and they're accessing our kids. They make TikTok videos to recruit our kids. And they have ways of creating money laundering so that they can get the money back from the fentanyl and the drug trafficking and be able to disperse it even between the Chinese cartel and the Mexican cartel. It is hard to keep up on all how technology is changing crime and crime solving. And it's really important that all of us see it. Now, I know this is a huge amount of change and it's overwhelming. Some days I get overwhelmed. I think I'll just sit down and play a game of free cell, go for a walk, something simple, because it is very, very complicated. But please get involved and listen and educate yourself so that you can prepare your children and your grandchildren. And the more you understand this, the more you realize how scary it is that you're putting prepubescent grandchildren online, even though you know what is happening. And it's a real challenge. So what is the Yahoo Boys? This is again coming from Kurt the Cyber Guy. They're based in Nigeria. They use technology to conduct romance scams. Now, they do a lot of other things besides romance scams, but I'm going to kind of focus in on that. They also spend a lot of time in video gaming. And the way this works is many of the people that are doing the actual exploitation, the actual baiting, the actual luring in, are victims of trafficking themselves. So what happens is you take a country like Nigeria, you have millions of very poor people. And so they go in and lure in a lot of people that think they're going to have legitimate jobs. Now, this is also taking place in Myanmar, Vietnam, and Cambodia. And they put them in warehouses, and they are not free to go. Many of them are beaten. Many of them are harmed. They're not free to escape out there. If they don't make enough money, they often get beaten and tortured. There are videos about this online. If you want to go onto YouTube and put in scam farms or Yahoo Boys, it'll explain to you. So the initial people that are doing the seduction process are also victims themselves. They are, and these are in the hundreds. And in Southeast Asia, they believe there could be as many as 250,000 people that are victims of this kind of thing. Many of them are very fine people that got degrees, that think they're going to go off and work in a technology situation, and the next thing you know, they are in a remote area where they live on the premises, they can't get free, and they have quotas of how much to trick you. The reason I want you to understand this is because we need to explain to people who are vulnerable that might get taken into this, who is on the other end really, because these people are forced into making it look like there's some hot young girl on there, or they're a Bitcoin expert, or they're on a dating site and they get a widower or widow or divorced person who falls in love. So the first line of people that are luring you in are probably victims also, but you will not be able to tell that, and they will not be able to tell you that. Once they got you in some sort of compromising situation, you are turned over to the hardcore cartels, and your life becomes absolutely unbearable. So Kurt, the cyber guy, goes on to say, like catfishing attempts, they build trust with the victim through personal and romantic interaction over messaging and video calls, where they manipulate their appearances in real time to match the description and profile that may have shared with them up to that point. So here's the deal. They already know all about you. Because of artificial intelligence and all the information that's online, these people that are luring you in already have a profile of you. And so they start to act like your new best friend. If you're a widower, this girl understands you, she lets you talk, she interacts with you, and like that. If you're a young guy on a video game and you're playing all these, games have a lot of animated pornography in them that keeps getting stimulated. And the next thing you know, it's I'll show you yours, you show me mine kind of thing. It's been going on for years, but it's going on online all around the world. And so there are things to watch for. The first thing I would tell you is never, ever, ever send money to someone you met online, even if they are blackmailing you. The next thing is don't give them anything to work with. Don't forget that live streaming works both ways. And I am in the process of creating videos. Those people that have donated to Million Kids, and I very much appreciate the people who support us financially. One of the things we've done is created a series of videos. They're at millionkids.org. They're created by teenagers, for teenagers. They're like 1 minute long because they have short attention spans, and it shows them, you're talking to somebody, this looks good. Now they want just a topless photo, not a big deal. And it shows you stop right there. As long as you have not sent anything, you're not in danger. The minute you send anything, or you get caught in a webcam, or you can even get a letter like the one that I wrote you that implies that they have seen you do something, and you're saying, how could they do that? And like that. The minute you engage with them, your life will change forever. You need to get off that. Do not delete it, because it is evidence. And what you need to do is take that immediately to law enforcement. But the first discussion that you need to have with anybody before they ever go online is, number one, that you will never, ever, ever do anything that will compromise you or your family online. And if you have, that you will ask for help. And you need to also have the same dialogue with anybody who's on a dating site or hookup site or talking to someone through a video game. By the way, they love to play in those grandma-oriented video games because you're just talking and you're off guard and like that. And that's what they do, is catch you off guard. And so watch out if anybody starts to change the subject. All of these need to understand where this is coming from. In the Nigerian thing, the minute they have any kind of something they can work with, it is turned over to their organized criminal groups. And it is absolutely brutal. And it is at that point you need to absolutely stop, go to the police, don't delete, and don't respond. Don't say, I know who you are, I know what this is about, or you leave my son alone, you leave my daughter alone. Don't do any of that. Just simply stop everything and screenshot it if you can. Do not delete it, and go immediately to your cybercrimes unit so that they can track this down. This gets absolutely brutal for our young people, especially our young males. Though I've seen case after case after case where kids started sending them money. $100, $200, $500. We had one kid that saw our sextortion movie, and he had said he'd already sent over $8,000, and they still will not quit. I will share with you that you don't ever want to get involved in one of these scams where you start sending money and you think, okay, I'll give them $500 and they'll go away. They will never go away. They immediately start hammering you. This is organized crime in third world countries that can reach right into your bedroom and your child's bedroom. So things have changed since you and I started out on AOL years ago. It is a lot different now, and we got to get ready for the future. My name is Opal Singleton, and we are up against that break, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced: The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590. The Answer.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com, or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens, and she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
AM 590. The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and I so much appreciate each and every one of you that follow this show. Every now and then I get out in the public and out of this dungeon here that I record in. It's a pretty nice dungeon, actually, but I'm spoiled rotten. But I get to know some of you, and I so much appreciate you. I got an email this week without going too far. And one of the things that I do is do something that we call insider alerts for people who sign up for our newsletter. And when I get any spare time at all, I will make extra videos. And they're maybe 8 to 10 minutes long, and I analyze the case. And I did this on a case by a guy by the name of Yu Vang, Yue, last name Vang, Vang. He had 1,100 female young girl victims that he had seduced into sending some sort of illicit photo and began to blackmail him. I couldn't believe it when I did the story. I'm thinking to myself, this man must not have a full-time job to be able to continue to blackmail 1,100 people. But what people don't realize is that the blackmail, when it takes place online, it is absolutely devastating for the rest of those people's lives. I've seen cases where, widowers that are in their 60s, they fall in love, and pretty soon they're helping this girl out, and pretty soon their whole retirement is wiped out. And you say, how can that happen? Their lives are devastated. Some of them take their own lives because they are ashamed and embarrassed that they were duped and something like that. But the same kind of thing happens to our kids once that photo is out there. And the first thing they do, because of technology, is they'll show the nude photo with the kids, all of their Instagram followers or all their TikTok followers. And this kid realizes his life is over. Everybody is going to see that image forever. Once it goes online, it goes round and round and round, and you will never be able to get it completely back. Now, there is a program out there that's called Takedown, if you want to look that up, that if you have the original photo, you can contact NCMEC at Takedown. NCMEC is National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Let me say that again, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And you can contact Takedown, and if you have the original photo, they will go out there and use artificial intelligence and try to find every place that it is. But there are no guarantees. My point is that this is a changing world. It's changing so fast that most of us, you just go, I can't get involved in this. I can't deal with it. It's going on whether you get involved with it or deal with it or not. The people that are out there that are committing this are in the literally hundreds of thousands. And one of the articles I read, and I can't verify if it's true or not true, I don't know what to think. It seems a little crazy to me. But they were saying that out of Myanmar and Cambodia, out by Battambang and like that, and Vietnam, there could be as many as 250,000 poor people from all over the world held in those warehouses that are setting out to get access to you so that they can turn it over to professional blackmailers, professional hackers, and make money. And they are making billions. It is believed that over $10 billion last year took place out of romance scams. These are, divorced people who are lonely, and widow and widower people that fall in love, and kids that get caught up in a naked photo scam, and they start paying money. $10 billion. That gives you an idea how big it is. If there's 250,000 people doing this, now they're doing it all over the world, not just U.S. They're trapping people from Australia and England, and depending on what language they speak, and it's also taking place in Philippines. But I say to myself, if they only reached 100 people a day, and there's 250,000 of them, what is that, 2.5 million or something, or 25 million? And so what it tells me is this will be a way of life for this next generation. And we're just getting started. As we get into artificial intelligence, they can modify your appearance, they can modify your voice, they can make one video and then modify that video so it looks like you're talking to a live person, and you won't realize who's really behind that video. And that is a little bit of what Kurt the Cyber Guy was talking about, is how sophisticated this has become, because all of us have this idea, well, I saw him on video. I mean, we talk and so I believed my eyes, but what you don't realize is that with artificial intelligence, all of this can be changed. On here, I just wanted to quote what Kurt said. For the video call, the scammer uses a primary device with its rear camera aimed at the secondary device screen. The screen shows the deep fake, which is the digitally altered face. The rear camera captures this and sends it to the victim, who sees the deep fake as the scammer's actual face. Now, this is right now. Just imagine where it's going to be in 3 months, 5 months, 10 months, a year. And just imagine what it's going to be like for our children as we put them online. This is the reason why when I see a 7, 8, 9-year-old kid with a phone talking to whoever they want to talk, or playing on one of those little devices that is hooked up to the internet, I say to myself, you have no idea the amount of danger those kids are in. And all it will take is one wrong decision that will change their life forever. Victims of sextortion and romance scams, it's life altering. And we've got to get ready. I know, I will tell you, I'm tired of change already. And it's only the second week of a year, and where is this going to go? And I think I'm just going to go for a walk in the woods and shut everything off. I get that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I also know that one of our missions, the missions here at Million Kids, is to prepare parents and grandparents to help them prepare the next generation to live in a world without borders and a home without walls. That is a book I wrote, by the way. I hope these sessions are good for you. I hope they're helpful. I hope they get you to think. I hope they get them to research. I hope you'll follow us on Million Kids so that you can get a lot of these articles and see what is happening. But more important, what I think is that if there was ever a time in history that we need strong parental leadership and grandparent leadership, it is right now. We got to get this right. However we prepare this generation of kids who live in this world without borders will set the stage for all future generations. Your kids, your grandkids, and their grandkids. We are just getting started. This is a very complicated world and hard for us to keep up for, but we do our best to break it down so we all understand it, and we know what kind of conversation to have with our kids to be able to make them leaders. I've never met a kid yet that wanted to be violated, but we've got to give them the tools so they don't get violated. And that's our job as leadership. So this organization is called Million Kids. We are a nonprofit 501c3. We spend a lot of time right now. We're doing the foster kid bedding drive. If you're interested in supporting foster kids, please go to millionkids.org. We do it for the month of January. It's only $75 for you to donate to provide an entire fun bedding set for a foster kid, especially for their first night in foster care. And it usually includes a fun little pillow and a designer thing. And we do it for kids that are transitioning out of foster care, as well as little kids. And it's really a great project. So please go to millionkids.org and look at our foster kid bedding program. And if you want to support the work that we do, it takes a lot of time and effort on a lot of people's part to keep up with the research and understand these cases and be able to go out and educate the public. And that's exactly what we do. Prevention and intervention. This knowledge is worth $1,000, and more than that if you have a child that's on the verge of being violated. And we get that. I got a letter this last week from a girl who told me, "Thank you for telling my story without using my name." She was a victim of Yu Vang. And she said, you're the only people out there that are explaining to other people how life-altering this is. So thank you for telling my story, even though you didn't know my name. Those kinds of letters just melt my heart and makes all of this work worthwhile. So please follow us at millionkids.org. If you're willing, while you're there, please go on to donate. You can either send a check or hit that donate button. Folks, put your arms around your family this week and let them know how proud you are and how much you love them. I'll see you next Saturday at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.